So welcome to our webinar on how to host your first trunk show. My name is Meg. I'm the Kitsy Lane coach here at headquarters, and it's my job to get you guys all set up and making sales. On today's webinar, we're going to touch on a variety of topics. I know that we've talked about trunk shows in a couple other webinars, and this one is specifically geared towards the step-by-step planning of your first trunk show. How do you get from maybe having a business starter kit or some sample jewelry in hand to actually putting a party together? So first things first, just to recap a little bit, what is a trunk show? A trunk show party is basically an opportunity to make a lot of sales at one time. The other thing that trunk shows are great for is extending your selling network and building a really big selling community. Especially if you have a trunk show party with a hostess where they invite some of their friends that you might not have met. We typically see a higher average total at trunk shows than we do either through online boutiques or really any other selling channel. Typically see about 8 sales. It depends how many people you have in your party, but we see between 50 and 75% of people ordering at a party. You have around 8 sales and $100 average order total. You'll bring in $800 in total sales at one party. And then depending on the commission tier of the items you're selling, that turns into between $160 and $240 in your hourly earnings. Coming soon, we're also excited to present V-Parties, which are kind of like the online version of trunk shows. You guys, I know, have all heard a lot about V-Parties, and we're really excited to roll them out over the course of the next month and a half. All right, so diving into your party planning checklist here. So first things first, you want to look at your calendar, set a date, and secure that hostess and location. If you are holding your first trunk show party, I definitely recommend being your own hostess. It takes a little bit of the stress off and helps you just kind of build your confidence on that first round. So once you have set that date on your calendar, you've either secured a hostess or determined that you will host your own party. The next step is obtaining some sample jewelry. So we have a lot of really great opportunities for you guys to buy sample jewelry at a discount. If you purchase a business starter kit, it obviously comes with a ton of sample jewelry credit, and I definitely recommend going that route. The other place that you can get a sample jewelry kind of discount credit is through our webinars. Our orientation webinars, that is, not this one. So if you haven't been in an orientation webinar, again, definitely recommend taking advantage of that. So you've got your date, you've got your hostess, you've got your jewelry. The next part is brainstorming the guests. So I've actually got a tool and a couple slides on how exactly to brainstorm your guest list. But I usually start this process about 2 weeks before my party. I take a day or two to brainstorm the guest list before I actually send out the invitations. Once you've got the guest list set, of course the next step is inviting those guests, and I've got a couple slides coming up on how I recommend sending out invitations. Once you've set those invitations out, it's kind of time to prepare the actual party. So you'll organize displays for jewelry. Again, sneak preview, I've got a whole section on displays coming up. Set the menu, include some wine, maybe some ginger ale or soda as well, and some snacks, just kind of some light party food. And make sure that you know how to use the online order form. When you are packing up and going out to your first trunk show, or packing up and going downstairs to your first trunk show, I've got a packing list right here for you. Of course, sample jewelry, you don't want to forget that. Those display pieces, I've got a bunch of display pieces that come with your business starter kit. There is a table sign included in your business starter kit, just something that makes it look, nice and professional. It says Kitsy Lane on it. I definitely recommend bringing a hand mirror or one of those little standing table mirrors so that your guests can look at the jewelry on themselves, especially if it's like a necklace or earrings that they can't, just kind of stick out their wrists and see. Bring some wish lists and order forms so your guests can keep track of what they're thinking of purchasing. Definitely want to bring some pens, of course, so that they can fill those out. I also recommend having a computer or a tablet on hand so that people can browse your online boutique. It'll also be really important to take orders on the spot. We do give order forms out with Business Starter Kit. Even so, I recommend placing orders on the spot just in case someone has a credit card issue. They write down the wrong number and that's string or something like that. And drinks and snacks. All right, so now we'll dive into the process in a little bit more detail. The next and the first, of course, part is inviting your guests. So who makes the list? If you are hosting your own party, you're going to invite your own connections. You'll start with friends and family, people who are already familiar with your boutique, maybe people who you've had the chance to talk about your boutique with. For a party with a hostess, of course, the guest list is kind of out of your hands, which is one of the great parts about having a hostess. You'll have her set the guest list and then help her send out the invitations. So we've got a little brainstorming tool for us here. It's a great idea to plan in advance as far as you can and to set an extra large guest list. When you invite 40 guests, you're ensuring that you have enough people there to make your party a success. Definitely aim to have 10 to 15 people in each party. So make your list. And this is 10 categories of 4 people each that you can brainstorm through and invite to your party. And then sending out the invitations themselves, I definitely recommend using evite.com. It's a really great invitation tool. The invitations look really nice and professional. They're free to send out, and it's a really easy tool to keep track of RSVPs. So it's pretty simple to use. You log into evite.com, pick a template. You'll add your party information, as you can see in the graphic here. You just fill in the name of your event, where it is, how people can contact you, and add a little message from the host about what particular thing is going on at this party, what kind of jewelry you're showing off. If there's a theme to your party, definitely indicate it here. You can also manage RSVPs to keep track of the number of guests attending your trunk shows. You can pick an RSVP style here. They have all kinds of creative suggestions, and make sure that all of your guests are RSVPing and tracking those RSVPs. I have a sample invitation for you here. I actually have step-by-step instructions for using Evite, as well as copies of these graphics if anyone would like them. Definitely email me at coach@kittsilane.com, and I'm more than happy to send them out to you guys. And just as important as the invitation itself is the reminder. So you want to reach out to all of your guests between 24 and 48 hours before the party. Call everyone who's RSVP'd yes or RSVP'd maybe, and make sure that they know the party is coming up, they're still planning on attending, and also have a short conversation with them about their jewelry needs. If they start thinking about their purchases beforehand, they're going to be more likely to buy because they're going to come in, they know what they're looking for, you're going to be able to help them, and they're going to walk out with a big order. And it gives you good ideas for what to recommend to them. If someone says, oh, I've got this party coming up, I've got a dress, but I just really don't know what to wear with it. Tell them to wear that dress to your party, or, at least bring the dress and you'll help them style it. You can put together a whole set for them. All right, so getting ready for the show. This is something that I say again and again. It's all about your attitude, and it's all about your enthusiasm. You want to have conviction, be confident, know your product, and lastly and most importantly, relax and have fun. Being well informed and being prepared will take you so far at your party. It's really all about your enthusiasm, because the more excited you are about the party, about your jewelry, about your boutique, the more your guests are going to be excited. So I know this sounds kind of silly, but I know I do it all the time. Everyone at Kitsy Lane does it. We all practice in our sales pitches in the mirror. Go through that sales pitch. Say, I'm so glad that you came to the party. I want to show you a couple pieces that I know you'll love. Start there. They'll fit your style. The colors in these pieces will look great with you and the outfit that you have on today. And go through that whole process from picking out the styles to just actually saying, okay, can I take an order for you? Or can I write this down for you? Do you want to hand me a credit card? And run through that entire thing in the mirror. Before the party starts, if you're hostessing yourself, of course you don't have to worry about arriving early, but if you are having it at a hostess's house, I definitely recommend arriving around 30 minutes before it starts. If you want to set out some snacks and some drinks, display your jewelry, just take your time setting it up, and be available to greet each guest as they walk through the door. Putting pieces together that look good together, I know that sounds like kind of a silly thing to do, but pieces that match well together should be displayed well together, will really make your table look extra special. So we've got necklace, bracelet, and ring holders that all come together. We've got these pads where you can lay pieces out, especially sets. The pads are great for sets. The necklace gosh, I forget what the professional name is for them. We'll call them necklace holders for now. Those are fantastic for statement necklaces, and all of these display pieces come in the business starter kits. So tips on arranging your jewelry, you can see here we've got a bunch of different styles of bracelets that's called a T-bar. And they're not all the same style, but they're all arranged next to pieces that they look well with. And then finally, I definitely recommend accessorizing your table with flowers, a tray of snacks, maybe a nice vase or a nice candle. Just makes it look extra special. And I know I keep mentioning business starter kits. They really do have everything that you need to throw a trunk show in them. Definitely recommend investing in one if you haven't already. These are all of the things that are included in them. I know I've mentioned them throughout the presentation, so we won't spend a ton of time here, but this information is also available on the sale page in your boutique for the business starter kits. We've got these display pieces, the table sign I was talking about, hostess sign-up sheets, your guide to selling events, and those forms that I was talking about, the wish list, the order forms, as well as a cheat sheet for your trunk show. So while you're giving the trunk show and preparing for the trunk show, you can literally have a piece of paper there that you're checking everything off of. They also come with these personalized business cards, as you can see at the bottom, and a bunch of sample jewelry credits. You know, there are a lot of opportunities to get sample jewelry credits. I definitely recommend stocking up on sample jewelry because it's just such a great way to sell. All right, so we're actually getting to the easy part here, actually throwing the party. Once your guests have kind of filtered in, you've made conversations, everyone's got a drink and a snack, time to introduce the shopping phase. You can hand out wish lists to every guest as they browse. As they start to kind of narrow things down and make their final selections, you can hand out order forms so that they can start recording what they'd like to purchase. And as I was saying before, I definitely recommend placing orders while customers are still at the party, just to resolve any potential credit card issues. I also have a section on finding your next hostess, just because finding hostesses and having a pipeline of available hostesses is going to make your life so much easier. So a hostess is any friend, coworker, friend of a friend, family member, could be anyone who loves jewelry and wants to introduce your boutique to her friends. The party can be hosted anywhere. Even if you have a hostess who's inviting her friends, it could still be at your house. It could be at her office if she wants to introduce her coworkers to your jewelry. Really, options are limitless. And hostesses, as I said, are so important because for every new hostess that you sign up, you're connecting with 10 to 20 new customers. So preparing before the party to recruit hostesses will definitely help you be successful at the end of the party when you're introducing the hostess concept. If you have someone in mind on that guest list who would be a great hostess, mention it to them before the party. Say, you know, I really hope you have a great time at this party. I want to answer any questions that you have about Kitsy Lane or about the jewelry while we're at the party because I think you would be a great hostess for my next party. While you're at the party, you can also take note of who's buying the most and who loves the jewelry the most, because those are also going to be great hostesses. They're going to love the fact that they get free jewelry just for being a hostess. And before you walk into the party, I definitely recommend setting goals for yourself, saying, I would like to recruit 3 hostesses. I would like to recruit 5 hostesses, based on how many parties you'd like to hold this holiday season. This is just a diagram of our host rewards. Basically, the hostess gets a % of the sales that she sells at the party in free jewelry credit, if that makes sense. So if she sells $800 in jewelry at the party, she gets $150 in free jewelry credit, which is awesome. Plus she gets 50% off 4 items. We have a really great hostess rewards program. To secure your hostess benefits, we actually have software for this coming out soon. But in the meantime, just shoot me over an email with your hostess's name and email address and the guest names and email addresses so we can associate those orders with her and get her hostess benefits. So on your to-do list, everyone who ever takes one of my webinars goes home with homework. But start planning that party. Find a host or start planning a party on your own. Sit down today and find a date on your calendar that'll work for your next trunk show. After that, create selling goals for your party. We've got some suggestions for how to do so in our Setting Goals webinar. And then thirdly, invest in a business starter kit. It'll just really help you out when you're preparing for the party. You've got everything that you need right there. Comes with a massive jewelry credit so that you're all stocked on sample jewelry as well.